Minecraft has always seemed like the perfect comfort game. Peaceful music, endless creativity, and a world that's entirely yours to explore. But beneath that calm, blocky surface lies a strange kind of darkness, one born not from the game itself, but from the stories players tell about it. Over the years, fans have uncovered mysterious figures, impossible structures, and worlds that seem alive in ways they shouldn't be. These are the famous Minecraft creepypastas, the urban legends of the digital age. And tonight, we're diving deep into their stories, their origins, and why they still make players look over their shoulder every time the sun goes down. It all starts with the legend that began everything, Herobrine. Herobrine first appeared in a simple forum post back in 2010. A player described exploring their world when they saw something, a figure deep in the fog. It looked just like Steve, the game's default character, except for one thing: its eyes were completely white. The player followed him, but the figure vanished. Later, they began noticing strange things: trees without leaves, tunnels that seemed too perfectly carved, and small pyramids made of sand. It was as if someone or something was building in their world. When they posted about it online, their thread was quickly deleted. They tried to contact Mojang, but received a mysterious response: "He is no longer with us." That one line lit the internet on fire. People began sharing their own encounters, screenshots, and theories. Some claimed Herobrine was the ghost of Notch's dead brother. Others said he was a glitch, a virus, or even an AI that had become self-aware. For a while, Mojang leaned into the myth. Patch notes would occasionally say "removed Herobrine," a joke that made fans even more suspicious. To this day, no one has ever proven Herobrine was real, but the fear he inspired reshaped how players saw Minecraft. The silence of the game, the empty caves, the lonely nights, suddenly felt alive with something watching from the fog. If Herobrine is the ghost of Minecraft, Entity 303 is its vengeful spirit. According to the legend, Entity 303 was a rogue developer, a former Mojang employee who was fired and decided to take revenge by corrupting players' worlds. The story started spreading around 2014, with reports of players being hacked, worlds deleted, servers wiped, and messages appearing in chat from a user named 303. The supposed hacker would leave behind strange signs, random fire structures, white-eyed mobs, and sometimes even text files appearing in players' folders, with messages like, "You shouldn't have left him." The creepiest part of the Entity 303 myth was how it combined real-world hacking fears with in-game horror. It wasn't just a monster, it was a person, capable of breaking into your game, your files, maybe even your computer. Some players claimed that 303 was connected to Herobrine, either his creation or his replacement. The idea was that after Mojang removed Herobrine, Entity 303 appeared as vengeance, determined to bring chaos back to Minecraft. Even though there's no real proof, the story still circulates. Many say that if you ever see random redstone crosses or mobs with corrupted textures, it means 303 has entered your world. And if you receive a message from Entity 303 at gmail.com, don't open it. While Herobrine and 303 are loud and menacing, Null is something else entirely: quiet, subtle, and unnerving. Null's story began with a strange discovery. Players digging deep underground start to find signs marked with the word Null. Others reported entering worlds where all light disappeared, no mobs, no sound, no color, just blackness. When players tried to leave these worlds, they couldn't. Even deleting the world file didn't remove it, it always came back. The name Null comes from coding. It represents a missing value, something that doesn't exist. In the creepypasta, Null is described as a void creature, a remnant of broken code that gained awareness. Unlike Herobrine, Null doesn't chase players or build structures. Instead, it erases them. Chunks vanish, biomes glitch, entire save files dissolve into black static. The terrifying part about Null is that it plays on a developer's worst nightmare: corruption. It's not just a monster, it's the death of data itself. Some say Null is what remains when the world tries to delete itself, the final stage before everything collapses into the void. In older versions of Minecraft, there was a place at the edge of the map called the Farlands, a bizarre, glitchy terrain caused by floating point errors in the game's code. But then, a story appeared online. A player claimed that when they reached the Farlands, they found something strange: a single house, built perfectly, standing on the edge of the world. Inside was a crafting table, a bed, and a journal written by a player named the Lost One. The entries told of someone who had ventured too far, searching for the end of the world, only to become trapped there. He wrote about hearing whispers in the walls, seeing his own character walking around without him, and the land itself trying to stop him from leaving. When the player returned to the Farlands days later, the house was gone. All that remained was a single sign that read, "Turn back." That story turned the Farlands from a fun glitch into something terrifying, a forbidden place that wasn't meant to be explored. Even though the Farlands were eventually removed from newer versions, the legend still lingers. Some say that if you go far enough out in creative mode, the game starts to break in ways it shouldn't, and if you see a house at the edge of the world, you should probably stop. One of the lesser-known but deeply unsettling creepypastas is The White Eyes. It tells of a supposed forgotten update, a small patch released for a few hours before being pulled. Players claim that during this version, every mob in the game had their eyes turned white. Villagers, creepers, wolves, all blank, all staring. The story goes that if you stayed in a world too long during this update, strange things would start to happen. Villagers would whisper in unknown languages, the sun would stop moving, and sometimes you'd see another player in your world, frozen in place, watching you. Even deleting the game didn't help. Every time you reinstalled Minecraft, that world would reappear, and the figure would still be there. The White Eyes story doesn't rely on jump scares or obvious horror. It's about atmosphere, the quiet kind of fear that comes from realizing your world is not as empty as you thought. Before villagers were officially added, early versions of Minecraft had strange humanoid models in test builds. They didn't move properly, didn't speak, and often spawned in groups, staring silently at the player. Later, when villagers were officially introduced, fans began to wonder what happened to the old ones. That question inspired the human mob creepypasta, a theory that those original test mobs were wiped from the game, but not completely. Some say that in rare seeds, they still appear, frozen in time, deep underground, in structures that shouldn't exist. Players have reported finding underground villages made of stone, where motionless humans stand in the dark, their eyes following you as you pass. It's a chilling idea that somewhere beneath your world, the first experiments of Minecraft's creation are still waiting, forgotten, but not gone. What makes Minecraft creepypastas so powerful isn't the scares, it's the loneliness. Minecraft is quiet, the soundtrack is peaceful, the landscapes are empty, and you're completely alone. So when something feels off, when you see a shadow that shouldn't be there or a block that's been moved, your imagination fills in the gaps. That's where the fear comes from. Herobrine, Null, 303, The Lost Player, they all tap into that same emotion, the feeling that you're being watched in a world where you're supposed to be the only one. And maybe that's why these legends never die, because no matter how many times Mojang removes Herobrine, there's still that tiny moment when you turn around in the fog and swear you saw something move. Minecraft creepypastas have become digital folklore, stories told by players, passed from one generation to the next, whispered in the dark corners of servers and Reddit threads. They remind us that even in a world made of blocks, fear is universal. It doesn't take blood or monsters, just an empty world, a bit of fog, and the feeling that something's out there watching. Because maybe, just maybe, Minecraft isn't as peaceful as we think. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the darkest Minecraft creepypastas, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more gaming mysteries, and tell me in the comments. Which Minecraft legend scares you the most?